I don't like to introduce myself, but what I can say is I'm an artist, musician, writer, all three very clearly and also in difference. And my name is Hassan Khan. I'm participating in this Biennale with a piece called Composition for a Public Park. This is my first participation as an artist, although I have participated before in 2011 as the president of the jury. I'm not a fan of this kind of like aestheticizing, gestures, generous gestures. Generous gestures are nice, but for me they do not equal better artwork. So I'd rather say I don't want to confuse things. For me, the artwork is the content, is the structure, is the language, is the decision, the design decisions, and it's for the audience to, the emotional landscape is the audience's. Composition for a Public Park is a piece that is basically a musical composition, a multi-channel musical composition in 3 movements that is spatial. So it is temporal, but it's not linear. It's not like listening to a piece of music in order. You can, as the public, you can kind of construct the composition as you walk through it in different ways. Every movement has a different musical language and instrumentation. So you have in the first movement the brass ensemble, mizmors, these like reed flutes, piano. And then in the second movement you have an Arabic takht, a small ensemble of classical Arabic music, etc. I've composed all the music itself and I've written the text. So this is really the content. That's the content of the work. It's not just the setting, it's also the actual content. It's very important for me. And it's also important that although the piece has something, I think, very seductive and enjoyable, it's also important that the text is there as a form of like friction with that. It's a piece for the public. It is in a public space, actually. In the Biennale here, it is in the Giardino della Vergine, which is the public part of the Biennale where people can access without tickets. For me, this is very important with this piece. And that's also why the text is important. Because it's not just about giving, of course it's nice and beautiful to have this enjoyable aspect, but it's also important for me that you're listening to something that, you can recognize something inside you, but it can also be a stranger. So all the 3 movements and all the 3 texts, they're about this experience of public and intimate at the same time. And I wrote them from this subjectivity. And it's no political romanticism, not no to political romanticism. I think this is a very important distinction. I end with this title because the other 2 texts, they are both public and intimate, but they lean more towards really the subjective experience that people can recognize themselves with, that is political but doesn't have to be seen as political. But the third movement is about anger and its containment. It's about the potential of transforming something and how that can be taken away from you, and we become and this anger does not disappear. It becomes contained and you become sick in a way. You can have rashes and mutations and all of these things. And if it's not transforming the social structure or whatever, if it's not transforming the world around you, it still remains. It doesn't just disappear. So it was important for me to end with something. It just felt that it made sense for me to end at this note somehow. It's very hard. Okay, the highlight, the Academia is for me the most incredible collection, but the best exhibition display, and really, really, really tremendous, is Museo Correr, and the Carlos Carpa display in the Pinacoteca there is very special. It's a lesson. For me, it is a lesson in understanding how to deal with work and to make it alive in a way. Also, it's historical work. It's really, and to work with the exhibition system, to work with the audience and the flow, and really, and without being kitschy, without being, forcing anything. It's really, really, that's also a highlight.